In the online video game Legendary Age, Hideki Nishimura, whose in-game name is Rusian, receives a marriage proposal from his guildmate Eiko, who has been persistently asking him out. Along with their guildmates, Schwan and Apricot, they are members of the Alley Cats Guild. In the real world, Hideki is just an ordinary high school student who openly expresses otaku behavior amongst his friends, leading to regular disapproval by classmate Akane Segawa. Eventually, in-game, Rusian ultimately accepts Eiko's proposal, and he reveals to his guildmates that his hesitation this whole time stemmed from him previously proposing to another female character named Nekoheim, only for the Nekoheim to turn him down and confess to be a crossplayer, a guy playing a girl. Regardless, Apricot organizes a real-life meeting of the guild members as none of them have ever met before in real life. Surprisingly, Hideki is shocked when he finds out that Ako is actually a real girl named Ako Tamaki. Even more surprising are Apricot and Schwein's real identities, whom are both Student Council President Kyo and Akane, respectively. While the members formally introduce their real-life selves and share their common dislike for normies, also known as nun-gamers, Hideki is still in disbelief at Aiko's true beauty in contrast to her actual in-game appearance. Hideki then apologizes for assuming his guildmates were all guys, and luckily, they still all look forward to seeing each other at school, although Akane and Hideki agree to keep their real life apart from their game life and interact like they usually do at school. On Legendary Age, Hideki begins to picture Schwein and Apricot as their real-life girl counterparts. The next day, Ako visits but casually calls Hideki by his online alias Rusian and declares that she is his wife, catching the other students' attention. Hideki and Akane pull Ako aside and try several ways to explain that their school life and game life are supposed to be separate. However, Ako perceives this as them not wanting to be her friend. Kyo organizes a net game club and recruits Hideki, Akane, and Ako. The club's purpose is to enable Ako to play with her guildmates under the same building to demonstrate the coexistence of her real and gaming friends. Later that day, Rusian surprisingly meets Nekoheim in the game. Eventually, their homeroom teacher, Sato, tells Hideki that Ako has been attending school more often and opening up a little more, all thanks to him, so she tasks him to watch over her. Meanwhile, as the Net Game Club finishes another gaming session, Akane dotes on how the club's activities have blurred the distinction between fantasy and reality for Ako even more. Regardless, the club has a limited time to find a faculty advisor, or else they'll be forced to be disbanded. Afterwards, after Rusian consults Nekoheim for advice, Hideki tries his luck to reassure Ako of the distinction, only to later have an overly jealous Ako stalk Rusian in the game talking to Nekoheim. Eventually, Ako stops going to school again but later appears at the guild hub telling the other players that she is going to have an offline meeting with an unknown stranger. As such, Akane and Kyo confront Hideki to try and stop Ako as Hideki admits that spending time with the real Ako has made him develop feelings for her outside the game. Hideki then runs to the supposed meeting place to persuade Ako to not meet the person, but then Sato shows up. Hideki then discovers Sato is actually Nekoheim, so Kyo recruits Sato to be the club's new advisor. Oh, how the turntables. As days pass, Hideki notices Ako's usual behavior getting even worse and the club members start sympathizing with her, so Miss Sato proposes to shut down the club and to quit gaming for the remaining school term, to which Kyo threatens her again with her Nekoheim accent. Shortly after, under Kyo's persuasion, the players try their luck with Legendary Age's Mystery Box feature, to which Ako's pulls yield underwhelming luck. After getting geishaed, Hideki cheers her up with popsicles, but Ako is in distress the following day as rumors about her and Hideki's relationship begin to surface and starts becoming a center of attention to other girls. Meanwhile, as Hideki seeks advice from his fellow players about it, Akane's friend, Nanako Akiyama, walks inside the club room, and Akane becomes shaken as Nanako questions her about the club and what exactly is she doing there. After frantically covering up for herself, Akane is left in despair after shoving her friend out the door. Meanwhile, in the game, as they are waiting for Schwein and Master, Rusian and Ako explore the sights and briefly crosses paths with Nekoheim and her crazy fanatic guild. After saving a newbie player named Set, she learns the basics of the game from Rusian while triggering Ako's jealousy. As Akane is in high spirits, the next day for having Nanako keep her gaming secret, Alley Cats prepares for another quest as Set finds Rusian and runs into his guild again. As Rusian explains to the guild that Set is a brand new player, Schwein offers to teach her, to which she playfully declines. The next day, as Ako suggests that the club should play a different game instead, Kaio's searches result in them playing the shooter game, Ultra Force, using Eko's hatred of normies to smite targets with exceptional skill. After an all-night Ultra Force gaming session, a sleep-deprived Hideki finds Ako exhibiting behavior similar to the game, while Nanako questions them on their whereabouts within Legendary Age. Later, Hideki and the others soon realize her identity is actually set within the game, and while a dazed Akane rocks back and forth, a frustrated Echo storms off after Nanako clarifies her in-game marriage as her perception of a way to take Hideki away from her. After no signs of communication with Echo in the real world, Hideki decides to talk to Echo inside the game, where she reveals her intention of maxing out her level and reincarnating as a different character, like a true gamer. Now completely devoted to playing Legendary Age, Echo has blocked the in-game chat as well, leaving Hideki to bring back Echo on his own. Deciding to confront Echo at her house, Echo's mom gives Hideki the key to her room, where he helps her max out her character. Staying at her house overnight, Rusian and Echo confront their fellow players in the morning with Hideki, intending to drop out of school like Echo. And while Echo goes against it, he states that the players will miss her as much as they do him. Now knowing how she really feels and empathizing with her struggle with reality, Hideki convinces Echo to come back to school again, standing by her side all the way. As Rusian shares a story about Yuan, a crossplay marrying player he met during his solo playing days, he struggles to get his feelings of affection across to Echo outside the game. As Nanako tries to help her adjust to real-life conventions, the group helps Set with a job promotion quest and is now a summoner, able to call upon pets as supporting party members. Despite the easygoing attitude of the group, Nanako mentions the final exams are coming up, leading Kyo to announce a temporary suspension of club activities until exams are over. When Hideki questions Echo about her previous test scores, which are all below passing, Hideki and the other guild members pull through to help her study within the game, to which everyone passes, including Echo. While an exhausted Echo logs off to rest, Rusian has an honest conversation with Schwein and Master about how to confess to Echo, to which none of them have any real love experience to really help much. Nevertheless, they still think of ways for Hideki to confess, and as Hideki and Echo have an afternoon stroll while talking about the upcoming training camp, they have a stop at the park, where their methods are revealed as extremely vague and lackluster. Despite this, Hideki gathers his courage and asks Echo to be his real girlfriend, and much to his shock, she declines the proposal. After Kyo and Akane do a comical dance to console Hideki, Akane calls out Echo, revealing that her in-game wife mentality was the reason for her declining. Wait, what? Regardless, the Alley Cat summer vacation training camp has finally started, and Kyo has a few surprises to help Echo better understand the real world whilst helping connect her and Hideki's relationship. After enjoying Kyo's private beach and villa for a couple hours, Miss Sato gets angered that the group isn't using the most of their youth because she's a boomer and demands they all hang out together for the rest of the day. Night falls and Kyo sets up a special line of fireworks where Hideki then pronounces his love to Echo on the villa steps. But even with Echo accepting and pronouncing hers, she still sees their relationship as husband and wife. To no avail, Kyo sees the vacation as a failure, and thus sets up another one at Hotel Flores, a hotel revealed to be collaborating with Legendary Age. As such, the group then spends most of the day going on code quests that give the player items when they purchase stuff from different areas in the hotel. Around midday, Hideki returns to his hotel room and starts up Legendary Age with Echo, where she then invites Hideki to her room via the game. As he randomly logs out and logs back in, Echo suggests that they should engage in a couple's chat, yet something doesn't seem right about the newly logged in Rusian. As Hideki suddenly becomes logged out of his Legendary Age account, and after failing to log back in multiple times, he realizes a hacker has taken over his account and is chatting with Echo. Rushing to her room to warn Echo of the imposter posing as Rusian, Hideki takes a look at their couple's chat box in which the hacked Rusian made very sussy aggressive advances on her, much to Echo's horror. As she apologizes for briefly mistaking the hacked Rusian for the real one, Kyo and the others drop by to assess the damage done to Hideki's account. Despite eventually regaining access to his account, his character Rusian has been unfortunately terminated, and while Echo grieves over his disappearance, the group resolves to do whatever they can to help. While Akane and Kyo scour the game's shops and auction houses for Rusian's sold items, Hideki consults the guild leader, Black Magician, under a backup character named Parashiki, to help him find his items, to which he agrees to. As Nekoheim drums up help from her guild mates, Master and Parashiki come across a merchant under the name Ronton selling some of Rusian's items at ridiculously high prices. Taking note of Ronton as a prime suspect, members of Nekoheim's elite guard manage to recover Rusian's wedding ring as a monster drop item, much to Echo's delight. As Hideki and Kyo have a talk at school about how fragile Echo's ties to Hideki are, Kyo assures him that the tone of the chat box brought Echo back to her senses, reinvigorating Hideki. At the guild hub, the Black Magician sends the Alley Cats a URL of a hacking blog under Lon, an experienced hacker and real money trader who recently bragged about Hideki's account hack. As such, they hatch a sinister plot to catch the hacker. The group, excluding Akko, go through hours of unknown activity over the computer, coming to Hideki's house to check on him. Akko realizes the deletion of Rusian has also annulled their marriage, much to her shock. Putting his plan into motion, Hideki makes an RMT with a hacker who is under the name Shoko, which catches the attention of admin game master Nak. Also accused of hacking Rontan and several other characters, Shoko confronts Parashiki, who gave away his IP address on the trading board Hideki and the others made 3 days ago, working non-stop to authenticate several years' worth of posts. While Parashiki faces a 3-day suspension for an attempted RMT, GM Nak restores Rusian's character, and he and Akko soon reinstate their marriage. The next night is an all-girls slumber party at Keio's extravagant mansion as they gather to finish their summer break homework, especially Akko, who hasn't made any progress with it at all. Cut off from contact with Hideki as well, the other girls take this as an opportunity for Akko to socialize without having him there, much to her chagrin. As the girls are led by a maid into Keio's room, Akko struggles to stay focused and gets up for a bathroom trip. Distrusted by the others into believing she'll run away, Nanako walks with her, and the pair soon become caught up exploring the mansion due to pure curiosity. Eventually, stumbling upon a study with a hidden room behind the bookshelf, they become chased by the maid after discovering a secret book chronicling Keio's growth, and the lost pair calls out to the others from the courtyard. While they decide to carry out the remainder of their work from there, Akko's minimal progress draws the attention of a frustrated Akane. After going through dinner and bath time, Nanako asks Akko about Hideki's preferences in girls, to which not even she doesn't know. With cell phone in hand, Akko prepares to contact him as the others realize the troubling situation, where her video chat will leave the girls in full view of their bodies. While Akko leads the girls on a chase, Nanako manages to calm the dilemma down as Akko throws her the cell phone, only for her to turn it off. Later, as the girls get settled in a single bed, Nanako also questions Akko about the views of her wife mentality, which she gives a scenario in how husbands and wives in the game and in real life have certain specific bonuses. Perceiving her as unfaithful, the girls, like a herd, quickly log into Legendary Age to confront Rusian about his views on Akko's mentality. Fast forward to nearing the end of summer vacation. Rusian tells Akko another story about a bird and healer he met during his solo play, hoping that she will see their marriage from a more realistic standpoint. Back at school again, Akane drags Hideki into the halls, lamenting on her sullied reputation as a normal high schooler. Meanwhile, finding no trace of Akko yet, Hideki calls her only to realize that she has been completely oblivious of her first day at school, expecting the group to be playing the game already. As the group meets in the club room once again, they are confronted by Miss Sato in regards to the upcoming culture festival, to which they must present their club contributions to other students. Taking advantage of Legendary Age's recent Siege Warfare update, a PvP battle among other guilds held once every week, Keio suggests that their guild should participate in representing Megasaki High, as victors will have a banner hoisted on top of their castle for the weekend celebration. After some rounds of practice sparring, Keio finds herself in a bit of trouble after realizing Apricot's mage role is not suited for PvP. Participating in the next siege battle against a guild known as the Cleaning Crew, Alley Cats witnesses another guild storming and only to be demolished in under 10 seconds, much to their surprise. After being party-wiped twice for their first attempt at an altercation between another guild, Master gets into even more trouble after realizing the prohibited use of premium items in siege warfare. Witnessing Nekoheim's elite guard siege the castle only to lose it moments later, the Alley Cats group mocks Nekoheim, much to her chagrin. While Akko gets into some trouble at school after being put in charge of her class maid cafe, Master enlists some reinforcements in the game in the form of mercenary guild Wallenstein. As such, Master and Wallenstein's leader of Bats make a formal alliance to help Alley Cats win their siege battle. Evaluating the guild members one by one, Bats gives Alley Cats a vague strategy rundown assuring that his guild can handle the dirty work, with Akane and Nanako capitalizing on his pretentious attitude. Arriving at Fort Cantor with defending guild Emperor Sword on guard, Bats instructs Akko and Set to run across opposite sides of the castle, spreading out their stationary guards. As Rusian and Schwen charge the defending line, Alley Cats soon witness Wallenstein's true power as they eliminate the entire defending party with little effort, instructing the others to take cover. Once the carnage begins to clear, Akko and Set runs inside and regroups with the others, where Fort Cantor becomes captured in the name of Alley Cats. While Wallenstein takes their leave, the group feels unsatisfied with their easy victory, feeling somewhat unaccomplished. However, once their moment of reprieve is up, Bats instantly dissolves the alliance and stages a takeover on the castle, single-handedly destroying every guild member except for a grief-stricken Akko. While real-world Eiko procures maid outfits from Kyo's maids for her class's maid cafe, more problems arise as she neglects shift duties and serving manuals a week before the cultural festival, to which Hideki helps her classmates become notified. On the matter of taking revenge on Wallenstein, Hideki forms alliances with Neckoheim's elite guard, as well as the Dark Magicians Guild TMW. With only one more siege battle before the culture festival, combined efforts be enough to take down Wallenstein. With only one chance to take back Fort Cantor from Wallenstein, Kyo explains her plan to the others of taking and defending the castle until time runs out. Upon rallying the alliance party composed of members from Neckoheim's elite guard, Yuyan witnesses the guild Emperor's Sword retake Fort Cantor as the alliance party, Alley Cat Princess elite guard, makes their move. Destroying the front gate using the Guy set provides a distraction to the first wave of defending guards by taking advantage of the chat window, allowing Schwein to clap them in one fell swoop. Then, exploiting the opening, the Alliance makes quick work of the remaining members before arriving inside and placing the Alley Cat Siege Crystal. Tasked with defending the castle for 20 minutes, the Alliance demolishes Emperor Sword's invading army using a well-executed meter spell performed by Master. With 10 minutes remaining, Wallenstein makes their return, but they quickly eliminate Q's stationary line and Rusian's secondary defense. However, arriving in the courtyard, Schwein's forces are shot down by their archer, until Schwein teleports in with her finishing move and destroys her. Upon arriving inside the castle, the surprises keep coming as Set gets herself finished to disable Wallenstein's abilities, and additional forces from Neckoheim's guild conduct an ambush on the remaining members, eliminating their mage and healer. As Rusian stalls out Wallenstein's knight, Bats arrives against Master, the lone defender of the crystal. Despite being the only thing standing in his way, Bats becomes increasingly irritated as his attacks have no effect on her. Calling upon his knight to inflict Master with a stun skill, Akko takes the stun as Bats slices her down. With Rusian stalling, the knight and Master still immune to Bats' attacks. The group manages to hold out until Alley Cats is declared the Lords of Fort Cantor. Using a drop of Yggdrasil per hit to nullify all of her damage, Master tells Bats that despite the huge monetary loss, doing it for the sake of her friends is what made it worthwhile. Finally admitting defeat and giving respects to Alley Cats, Wallenstein gallantly takes their leave. At the Culture Festival, the Net Game Club shows off their screenshot of their most recent victory, and Eiko's Maid Cafe becomes a big success. During cleanup, Hideki promises Eiko an in-game reward for staying strong during the Culture Festival, and while mere moments away from kissing each other, the rest of Gru comes in to talk about Legendary Age's player housing update. While Hideki tries to clear up the misunderstanding, Eiko exclaims her in-game reward is similar to a real-life one, to which Hideki shouts that the game and reality are separate, much to her frustration.